Hello people, let us look at chemical burns here. Basically, in types of burns, which you have already seen in the previous video, we have in types of burns, you have thermal burn, chemical burn, electrical burn, and radiation. In this video, we will look at this chemical burn. So basically, this is not so common, they are saying, because it happens mostly where in industry, scientific laboratories, and at home also it's possible. Okay, but it is relatively uncommon. Okay. Here guys, the damage occurs based on the period of contact. Okay, so how much of systemic absorption happens also, that also can determine. Local effects and systemic effects can be there. So what and all can affect you? Acids, alkalis, and others. Acids like what? Hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid, nitric acid, hydrofluoric acid, phenol. Phenol, they have put an acid, is it? Carbolic acid. Okay, all these are acids. Alkalis coming to sodium hydroxide, NaOH, potassium hydroxide, aluminium hydroxide, lithium, barium, calcium hydroxide. Others can be something like phosphorus, wet cement, lime, potassium permanganate, and organic substances like petrol, kerosene, turpentine, naphthalene. So turpentine, how will it cause issue? Because we sometimes rub our hands with turpentine. Maybe the concentration, right? Let's look at this. How do these chemicals affect our tissues? The acid causes coagulative necrosis. Alkalis, they are corrosive. They produce denaturation of tissue proteins. Remember, alkalis are more dangerous than acids. They produce denaturation of proteins. They are able to destroy tissue more than acids. Acids will cause coagulative necrosis. Okay. And what happens? This coagulated eschar will prevent the further penetration of acid. So how will we do management in these cases? First aid, what will you do? You will irrigate it with water. Remember, water, water, water. Except few exceptions like phenol and some elementary metals. Except that you will actually use water. H2O is the savior here. If it is acid, don't pour alkali on it. And if it's alkali, don't pour acid on it. It will cause exothermic reaction and more damage. So what will you use, guys? Water, water, water. Okay. See, they are calling it here as hydrotherapy. Remember, it is water and it is not cold water. It's not ice cold water. Okay. Basically, it should at least be 15 degrees or above, right? It cannot be below this. So, if you use ice cold water, etc., there could be more damage and the person will feel more pain. You'll have to say, give anesthesia to that person. So, normal water is what they're talking about here when they are saying hydrotherapy. So, absorption of phenol increases with dilution. So, remember, you should not put water if there is phenol burn. Okay. How will you remove phenol then? You will remove by solvent polyethylene glycol. What will you use against phenol? Polyethylene glycol. A peg of something you have to give. So that was emergency care kind of a thing, isn't it? First aid. Okay, that was first aid. Now definitive wound closure, how will you do? You will, same thing like thermal injury they're talking about. You will do excision, split skin, grafting of granulating wound. If the patient, if he presents late, then what will you do? Grafting of granulating wound. The wound will be granulating. Is that called as healing? Then of that you will do grafting. Okay, what else? So ocular injuries, because of what? Acid and alkali, there could be ocular injuries. Okay, that makes sense. So we are still talking about chemical burns. So what will happen? There will be sloughing of corneal epithelium, then the stromal edema, so obviously it's going much deeper, then corneal ulceration, perforation can be there. So your globe can get perforated because the cornea has an ulcer, isn't it? Panophthalmitis, that is very dangerous, isn't it? So if the perforation does not occur, corneal opacity and heavy vascularization occurs. So vascularization of your cornea is not good. Is it good, guys? We are not going into ophthalmology, but I hope you know. Then, so basically you will have to lavage the cornea with water. Again, first aid is water, water, water. It's the simplest thing, right? Water. Okay. Then, here they are telling for eyes now you should put steroids so you can minimize the inflammation and scarring. So remember, steroids looks like a savior there. So chemical burns, that's it guys. Just remember it is uncommon, but it happens in industries, labs, homes, etc. Acid, alkali, others. So basically acids are causing coagulative necrosis, but they will have a coagulated eschar which will prevent acids to penetrate deeply. Alkalis are corrosive agents. They cause denaturation of proteins and they are more destructive than acids. Always put water and remove, irrigate. This is the first aid, but if it's phenol, don't put water. You have to put polyethylene glycol. Okay. Before doing hydrotherapy. You can do hydrotherapy after putting polyethylene glycol because the absorption of phenol in our body increases with its dilution. Then you have same thing, if it is early days, you can do primary excision and split skin grafting. If it is later that the patient has come, you can do grafting of the granulating wound. Okay. Ocular injuries are very common. Remember, for cornea layers, from the epithelium to the stroma, to there will be ulceration, perforation, panophthalmitis can happen. So they are again talking about water, hydrotherapy here for the eye, and then steroids also they're planning to give. Yes, they're talking about hydrotherapy in burns. Basically, in burns like thermal burn or chemical burn, the first thing they want to do is, as a first aid for chemical burn, at least they want to talk about water. And this water is not ice cold water. It should not be very cold. They're talking about at least 15 degrees or normal tap water they're talking about. It should not be a very cold water. It will cause further damage. So here they're saying either you give an immersion hydrotherapy or a shower hydrotherapy. So remember your bathroom, you will either have a bathtub or you will have shower, isn't it? So you'll immerse or you will have shower hydrotherapy. So basically, how does this work? It will clean the wound, right? It will remove the pus, etc. It will prevent loss of fluid. It will give a moist environment for healing. It will minimize the scar formation, also minimize the risk of infection. You will have to do it from 10 to 20 minutes. And it may be painful, so you may have to give sedation or general anesthesia. Remember, they won't use ice cold water. That's bad. They're just using cold water, cool water, I think.